Hello friends, it's time once again for the weekend market review, and this one comes at a very interesting time. The market's been dropping for about 2 months now. Do we think it's going to continue? Come on, let's take a look. I'll show you what I see. Okay, so the number one question that I've been getting this week has been, how bad do you think it's going to get and when is it going to be over? Let's take a look. First, let's look at what's been going on. So what I've got here on the screen, this is the S&P 500, and what you notice is we've had this beautiful uptrend just about all year. And then as we get into the end of July, we have the peak of the market, and then for the last 2 months, we have this downward sort of trajectory in the market, with things getting particularly bad in the back half of September. Is this something unusual? Is this something that's worrying me? Not at all. Here's why. This is Carson Investment Research, and basically what they're doing is they're looking at the S&P 500 average 10-day returns from 1950 to where we are today. And this is every day of the month on the left-hand side, and it's every month of the year going across the page. And this shows you that there's a seasonality to markets. In particular, if you notice the back half of September, starting around September 15th, you can see some of the strongest red on this chart. What does this tell us? Well, this tells us that the back half of September is pretty tough. And there's a whole lot of reasons for why that is. It could be government fiscal year rolling over, corporate tax filings, liquidity gets low. There's all sorts of like seasonal and structural factors for why this is the case. The bottom line for our purposes is the back half of September is pretty tough. So I'm not surprised that we're in this sell-off. I'm not surprised that the sell-off is, picking up some steam here. But I'm not worried about it. And one of the reasons why I'm not worried about it is this is the typical normal pattern for years. This year's being a little bit stronger than usual. But one of the reasons why we want to remain invested and not panic during this time is as you look towards October, November, and December, if we can get through this period, this little seasonal weakness, soft patch, the fourth quarter is typically the strongest quarter of the year. And as you get further into it, you can see there's very strong green on this chart. And generally, all of those things that are challenges to us start to reverse. We start to get more liquidity. Everything just gets better. So not worried. This is generally the time where it happens. So what I think is going on, red line here is the S&P 500, purple line here is the 200-day moving average. I think the market's going to come down and shake hands with its 200-day moving average. This happens very often. It's a normal thing to do. I'm not worried about the market until it gets below its 200-day moving average. If you look back here at 2022, that was an early signal that we were going to have the correction that we had last year. We're nowhere near that. Right now, we're well above the 200-day moving average, and that's telling us that, hey, I think we're in an uptrend here. So I think we got some work to do. I think we're going to come down and shake hands with the 200-day. But in terms of being worried about a stronger downtrend, I don't see the signs just yet. And it's completely normal for the market to shake hands numerous times with its 200-day. Here's the end of the bear market in 2015 into 16, and here was the very strong bull run that basically carried all the way through until the third quarter of 2018. And what you notice is there were several times that the S&P came down and shook hands with its 200-day at least 3 or 4 separate times during this rally. So this is very normal. We're in the little patch of seasonal weakness. We were very extended above our 200-day. So I'm not surprised the market is doing what it's doing. So what's going on in the market right now? We're in a correction. We're in the usual soft patch for the year. But until we get to around 420 on the SPY, 4,200 on the S&P 500, I'm not worrying. So take the weekend off. Enjoy your weekend. I'll see you on Wednesday for the news review. Bye.